Well, it's time for an update from me. I've had a kind of a wild week and more to add to the mystery as to what's going on with my whole health situation. I had another event happen almost a week ago now, and back to the ER again. Thankfully, no ambulance this time. My husband drove me. I did not actually fully pass out or have a tonic-clonic seizure or anything quite like that this time. What I did have might be just another piece of the puzzle, because this time I had some CT scans done and they showed what is believed to be a mini stroke, or TIA. And that brought on this time an absence seizure, which means that I wasn't doing the extreme muscle contraction thing. I was just probably just a little bit out of it for maybe 20 seconds or something like that. And then I was alone on the couch, just sitting, doing regular things. And then I got up and started talking to my husband, and he recognized that I wasn't quite making sense, that I was speaking slowly, and I just didn't seem to be all with it. So he decided it was time we go to the hospital, and we did. And it did turn out I couldn't remember what day it was or even what season it was. But my memory did come back fairly quickly after that, and I did feel pretty back to normal. And I'm very thankful. We had actually an attentive ER doc who actually decided to send me for these CT scans. They sent me for one and it showed something's going on there, so they did another one with dye, which I wasn't too excited about, but in the end decided it had to happen because we need to find out what's going on here. And that's when it became more obvious, when he talked to a neurologist about the scan. They looked at it and they decided, yeah, this is a TIA. So a mini stroke is one that doesn't leave more lasting permanent damage, but it can mean that you might be on your way to having a real stroke. So this is kind of a big deal. They did check, of course, I was tachycardic again. There was, a lot of the same kind of things going on. There's something going on with my heart. And so they did some checks, and they actually sent me for an MRI a couple of days later, which is amazing because that just doesn't happen here. So again, I'm really impressed. And a Holter, and I had an ECG. If you're an American, you call that an EKG, same thing. And now we wait. I've had severe shoulder pain ever since the event, even though I didn't do anything else with my muscles. So I'm off to the doctor again today to hopefully get that fixed or sorted out or something. Hopefully one day I can sleep again, because with this kind of shoulder pain, you don't sleep. And when you've had an event like this, you really need some sleep. So I'm hoping I'll get some soon. So if I sound a little weird, it's probably not so much a stroke thing as it is that I'm just extremely sleep deprived right now, and just trying to figure out what's going on. And it's one thing to be scared all the time that you're going to be having syncope or seizure events, which is what I've had to live with for a little over a year now. But now I'm dealing with the real possibility, as the doctor said, that all of these events might actually be mini stroke events that are causing seizures to come on because of the way that they're affecting my brain. So still heart related, but then having an effect on the brain as well. So this is complicated. And in fact, the ER doc used that word several times. My situation is complicated. So I appreciate him. He was thoughtful, helpful, went the extra mile. Kudos to him. Really appreciate that, and way better than the previous two, who also were very nice, but just didn't push very hard to find out what's going on, and we're fine with just saying, oh, you have MS, that's good enough, that's what it is. But right now what we're looking at is that it probably has nothing at all to do with MS. It has to do with some kind of heart arrhythmia going on with me. So I've had another Holter. I'm still waiting for a 2-week Holter. There's just lots more that we're hoping will be in the works, but I don't know how well all of these different doctors are working together on these things. And the sad news being that I now have to go back and see my neurologist again, who I really don't have a lot of faith in at this point, and it stresses me out to have to go to talk to her, because I know what she's going to do. She's going to say, oh, you have to be on the anti-seizure meds. This is MS, you have to be on the anti-seizure meds. She's probably not going to embrace the process of finding out what's really going on with me. I hope I'm wrong, I really do, but my experience with her so far has shown that I probably am right about this. I don't know, maybe she'll be having a good day. That will be late next week before I see her anyway, but it's a lot to figure out. Another fun thing that I didn't know is that with seizures, now I knew very well with full-blown tonic-clonic seizures, or even just tonic seizures, which is more like what I was having, which is why we were still thinking probably syncope, you can bite your tongue, and I do, hard. But apparently with absence seizures, you can also bite your tongue, which I did. Thankfully not as bad and not for anywhere near as long, because apparently this had to have been a very, very short period of time. It wasn't like minutes and minutes, it was seconds. So I'm glad for that. It is healed now, but yeah, that was not fun either, to be back to the whole rinsing with salt water and having pain when you talk or when you eat and drink and all that. Anyway, so that's my super fun story. I am, even with this massive, massive setback and the terror of it all, trying to stay positive. And it really helps to not be on anti-seizure meds so that I can stay positive. Let me tell you, if I have to take those, I'm done. I'm probably just going to give up. I don't really see any way through that. So we'll see what happens. But I am positive. I am excited to tell you guys that my oxygen concentrator came through. I have it. Still looking for insurance to cover it. They're being very difficult with me. But now with a mini stroke diagnosis, that might change, so we will see. But I've got it, and we're just getting it ready to get set up. It's kind of a big deal to have it running properly and set up in such a way that it's safe and works well and does what we need it to do. So my husband's been just kicking butt, doing all the things that need to be done to get this machine working. So hoping to get that started very soon, and hoping that it will help. And it's really kind of neat too, even as I was sitting for many, many hours in the waiting room in the ER, that I did know that strokes are a lack of oxygen to the brain. That's a major factor. And so recovering from strokes with oxygen is actually hugely helpful. So the fact that I actually have an oxygen concentrator right now to recover from this stroke, that's pretty exciting. And I hope that I will make a full recovery. I think my brain is still pretty foggy, and even once I'm hopefully sleeping again, it's probably going to take a while before I feel like I'm back to where I was prior to this event. And of course, this one is just generally emotionally more difficult too, because there was no warning sign. It just kind of happened, and even the actual feeling of something strange was so quick. And there was no deja vu, nothing like that. It was just I feel a little weird, which, you know, for someone at my age, that can be hot flushes too, and often is. So it leaves me in a point where now I know I probably can never drive again until we figure this out. If they can find a specific heart rhythm issue and they can correct it, then maybe one day I could drive again. But otherwise, I guess I'm not driving anymore. So that's a big problem. We don't live on a bus route. It's very hard to get anywhere. And it means depending on friends or husband to drive me around, take time off work again, and drive me to all these medical appointments. And that means I can't even just go run errands or anything. So that is frustrating. But I am thankful that we have some doctors who are taking this a little bit more seriously now. And I am about to go and talk to my family doctor, and we'll probably have a conversation about the whole thing as well, because he likes to be kept in the loop with everything that's going on with all these other doctors. And technically, it's up to me to advocate for myself and to keep track of what everybody says and what tests are being done and check in on them and all of that kind of thing. Something that probably many years ago a family doctor could have done. They don't have the time anymore, the resources to do that kind of thing. So it's up to me to figure it out, fill him in. He might take a few notes and then he's got a general overview, but it's up to me to be in charge of that. And that's pretty hard to do when your brain's all messed up. So not really excited about that, but we're trying to move forward here. And I am, like I said, I'm happy about the ER doctor and his work, his willingness to put in that extra work to try and figure out what's going on. And I hope that will encourage other doctors to keep moving forward as well. And maybe even get me in touch with some more doctors who could potentially look more into this, get the right tests done, and maybe even help me down the road, which would be amazing. I don't know, maybe there isn't actually even a cure for whatever's going on with my heart or my system or whatever's happening. And we may never know. That's life. Modern medicine is nowhere near as advanced as we think it is. You think about people 500 years ago who thought, oh, our medical system is like state of the art. We know everything, They didn't know a fraction of things. And 1,000 years ago, same thing. They thought they had so many great advancements and they were doing all kinds of crazy things that we would never do now. And in 1,000 years, they'll look back at where we are right now and say, wow, no wonder they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. They didn't even know what they were dealing with. That the science hadn't even been done yet to discover these things and to figure out what to do about it. So we could be there too. I don't know. But I feel like we're kind of trying to move forward here, and there's some hope, and we'll just keep pushing forward. And I hope to share very soon all about this oxygen concentrator that I've got. And I'd love to do an unboxing, but the company we bought it from actually sent out a medical professional to show me how to use it, so it was already unboxed. So we won't be doing that. But I'd love to show you how it works and start giving some updates about hopefully how well it is helping me. Thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content and you want to know what's going on with my journey next, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, as they say. And God bless.